You know what's funny? You keep wondering why people underestimate you. But you trained them too. You diluted your intelligence so you wouldn't intimidate anyone. You hid your instincts to avoid conflict. And now, you're shocked that the world treats you like background noise. Here's the truth you never wanted to hear. You're not lacking potential, you're lacking ruthlessness. And in the next few minutes, I am going to give you the 5 lessons that will make you dangerously smart. The kind of smart that bends social dynamics, exposes manipulation, and turns silence into power. But stay sharp, because the final lesson is the one nobody dares to say out loud. Number 1, the discipline of relentless observation. Minds armed with observation rarely fall. Machiavelli said. He wasn't talking about passive awareness. He meant the kind of attention that slices through people like an X-ray, the kind you've avoided, because it forces you to confront truths you'd rather not see. Do you think intelligence comes from reading more books, talking more, or trying to sound clever? Wrong. Your real weakness is that you walk through the world half asleep. You take people's words at face value. You ignore micro-reactions because you're too busy trying to craft your own responses. You miss shifts in tone, hidden power plays, the small hesitations that reveal someone's real motive. You're not stupid. You're blind. You assume people are neutral when they're calculating. You assume silence means peace when it actually means strategy. And every time someone gets away with manipulating you, it's because they observed you better than you observed them. Here's the ruthless shift. Stop interacting. Start scanning. From now on, your first job in any room is to shut up and watch. Watch how people breathe when they lie. Breath shortens. Watch how they laugh when they feel inferior. The laugh comes a fraction too late. Watch what they avoid mentioning. That reveals more than what they say. When someone speaks to you, don't focus on the message. Focus on their intent, their posture, the micro-flinch when their ego gets hit. The dangerously smart don't out-talk anyone. They out-observe everyone. Observation is intelligence with teeth. It lets you predict moves before they're made. It lets you sense tension before it erupts. It lets you detect insecurity before someone weaponizes it. And here's the dark part. When you master observation, you don't need to dominate people. They expose themselves to you voluntarily. You become the person who sees the weakness behind the smile, the fear behind the confidence, the anger behind the politeness. That is how real power forms. Silently, invisibly, in the seconds when everyone else is too distracted to notice anything. Number 2, weaponize emotional detachment. He who controls his emotions controls his fate, Seneca said. The ancient Stoics weren't preaching calmness for peace. They preached calmness for domination, the ability to act while others freeze, decide while others panic, and stay calculating while others drown in their own reactions. You think your emotions make you human, but look at your life. Your emotions make you predictable. People know exactly how to trigger you. A subtle insult throws you off. Silence makes you anxious. Rejection scrambles your logic, and every time you react, you hand over control like a gift. You get baited into arguments, drawn into pointless drama, manipulated by validation, and derailed by your own sensitivity. Your intelligence isn't the problem. The problem is that you can't sever your feelings from your decisions. You let your mood dictate your strategy, and anyone who can influence your mood owns you. Here's the ruthless shift. Detach first, the CD second. Dangerously smart people don't suppress their emotions. They quarantine them. When someone insults you, pause. When someone pressures you, pause. When someone tries to guilt trip you, love bomb you, or provoke you, pause. That pause is the difference between reacting and controlling. In that moment, instead of asking, how do I feel? You ask, what's the power dynamic here? You study the move. You decode intent. You strategize your response, not based on feelings, but on outcome. Emotional detachment makes you unreadable, unmanipulable, immovable. People can throw guilt, shame, anger, seduction, and you remain steady, watching them expose their hand. And the darker truth, once you become emotionally detached, people start revealing everything. because they feel the imbalance. They sense you're harder to provoke, harder to sway, harder to exploit. They become the emotional one, while you stay the strategic one. And in every social game, the emotional player loses to the calculating player every single time. Number 3. Master the art of hidden intent. Never reveal your true purpose, not until the moment it is achieved. Sun Tzu said, "This is not advice for warfare alone. It is the skeleton key of social intelligence. Those who conceal their intentions move freely. Those who broadcast them get blocked. You keep failing not because your goals are wrong, but because you announce them too early. You tell people your plans so you can feel supported. You reveal your thoughts so you can feel understood. You explain your motives so you can feel honest. And every time you do, you hand away leverage. People begin predicting you, undermining you, preparing counters to moves you haven't even made yet. You expose your strategies like an amateur chess player yelling their next move, and then you wonder why life keeps boxing you in. You don't realize how dangerous full transparency is. Not morally, strategically. People don't attack what they cannot detect. They cannot sabotage a plan they don't know exists. Here's the ruthless correction. Let your actions speak while your intentions remain buried. From now on, you move like smoke. You listen more than you reveal. You ask questions not to share, but to map the landscape. You let others underestimate you, mislabel you, misread you. Because misdirection is a weapon, let them think you're uninterested. While you gather information, let them think you're harmless. While you position yourself, let them think you're confused. While you calculate, you must become the person whose motive is never obvious, whose angle is never clear, whose silence keeps others guessing. And here's the psychological uppercut. Once people can't tell what you want, they start revealing what they want, because they fill the silence with their own intentions, their own fears, their own desires. You gain clarity while they lose composure. That is how dangerously smart people gain an advantage without raising their voice, without pushing, without announcing anything. They let the world expose itself while they move in shadows. Number 4. Control the frame. Control the mind. Reality is shaped not by truth, but by the one who defines the terms. Nietzsche said he wasn't being poetic. He was revealing the core mechanism of power. People don't follow facts. They follow frames. If you control the frame, you control how others interpret every word, every action, every situation. Your biggest mistake, you keep letting other people define the context. Someone criticizes you, and you accept their frame, you become defensive. Someone dismisses you, and you accept their frame, you shrink. Someone challenges you, and you accept their frame. You justify yourself. Every time you react inside their frame, you lose. You think you're arguing, but you're actually obeying, because the real power lies with the person who sets the meaning, not the one who explains themselves. Right now, people can corner you with a simple question, redirect you with a simple assumption, or destabilize you with a simple tone shift. Not because they're smarter, but because you haven't learned to seize the frame before they impose theirs. Here's the ruthless shift. Never operate inside someone else's frame. Replace it instantly with your own. Someone tries to put you on the defensive. Don't explain. Reframe. If they say, "Why are you so quiet?" you say, "I don't waste words." If they say, "You seem unsure," you say, "I'm evaluating." If they say, "Do you really think you can do that?" you say, "The fact that you're asking tells me you've already considered that I can." See the difference? You don't answer their question. You don't accept their premise. You define the meaning. Dangerously smart people understand this. You win the moment you force others to react inside your worldview. Control the frame. And suddenly you're the gravitational center of every room. People become cautious with their words. They measure their tone. They look to you for cues without even realizing it. Because once you master framing, your presence alters the psychology of the entire interaction. You become the reference point, the stable axis. Everyone else orbits around. Number 5, Become the mind they can't predict. The great man is he who becomes a law unto himself, Nietzsche said. This is the pinnacle of dangerous intelligence. When your behavior stops following the pattern society trained into you, when you no longer act from fear, validation, habit, or expectation, but from pure strategy. Here's your real flaw. You're predictable. People know exactly how you'll respond to pressure, compliments, insults, attention, silence. They can forecast your reactions before you even have them. Why? Because you operate on autopilot. The same emotional scripts you've used for years. If someone praises you, you soften. If someone challenges you, you tense. If someone ignores you, you overcompensate. Your entire psychological profile is easy to read, and predictable people are easy to control. You never realized that every predictable reaction is a map of your weaknesses. A mind that others can forecast is a mind they can manipulate. And this is why you keep losing power without understanding why. You're clever, but you're not unpredictable. You're aware, but not elusive. You're intelligent, but not untouchable. Here's the final ruthless shift. Break your own patterns so no one can weaponize them. From this point forward, you become strategically inconsistent, not chaotic, not irrational, but intentionally unpredictable. When they expect you to argue, you become silent. When they expect you to fold, you stand firm. When they expect you to chase, you disappear. When they expect you to hesitate, you'll strike, not because you're impulsive, but because you refuse to be readable. The dangerously smart never reveal a stable psychological fingerprint. They adapt, they shift, they evolve faster than others can decode them. And this creates the ultimate power dynamic. People stop assuming they understand you. They stop underestimating you. They stop playing games with you because they cannot predict the cost. You become a moving target in a world full of stationary ones. And a moving target is almost impossible to hit. This is the final law because it transforms every other law into something lethal. Observation becomes sharper. Detachment becomes colder. Silence becomes heavier. Frame control becomes absolute. And your mind becomes untouchable. You've just learned 5 ruthless laws. But here's the part you won't like. Most people will forget everything as soon as the video ends. They'll go back to reacting, oversharing, seeking validation, playing predictable games, and wondering why nothing in their life changes. Don't be most people. From this moment on, you stand at a fork. Either return to the fragile version of yourself you've outgrown, or become the person others can't read, can't manage, and can't manipulate. And understand this. If you go back to your old patterns, you will be devoured by those who follow these laws. If you embrace them, you won't just think differently, you'll become untouchable. If you're ready to join the inner circle of people who see reality clearly, tap like, subscribe, and step inside.